we got our jug of Varget here. About 93 grains of Varget. 93 grains that would normally be my load of Ratumbo for a 338 Lapua. I'm going to take this 285 grain Hornady here and seat that about 40 thousandths into the lands. "93 grains of Varget behind a 285 and a 338. Plenty of recoil in that round I just fired. Gonna take some persuasion to get it out of there, I think. There we go. So I had to stomp on it to get it out of there, but it came out. She's pretty well welded in there. Well, let's see if I can get it out of this bolt head here. Well, there's the primer. Pierced and flat as can be, and the face of that case is just mangled. You can see the imprinted the imprinted lettering on the bolt face there. So there's 93 grains of Varget, and there is no damage, no perceptible damage to this rifle. We're gonna have to step up the game a little bit. Well, we didn't use enough Varget to blow up that Desert Tech, so what about N320? Pistol powder. I bet that'll work. There. We'll get that powder right up to the neck shoulder junction on this case. There you can see that. A lot of powder in there. There is a heavily compressed load of N320. We'll see how that does. Okay, you can see here again, everything held together. There's absolutely no damage to this rifle. It held that charge of I don't know how many grains of N320 behind a 285 jammed into the lands. Let's see. Can't lift the bolt this time, so we're gonna have to get this thing open here. Okay. There we go. Starting to get her open. And we have extraction. And unbelievably, that bolt head is you can see it is damaged on the lugs here. The lug that has the extractor cut in it is kind of blowed open. But other than that, there's no real damage. Nothing sheared off. It held it. Let's see if I can get this case out of here. Okay, gonna have to use the 2x6 again. There we go. A little ejector wipe, you think? Holy cow. That's some pretty serious business right there. And the bolt is completely destroyed. Now, if this were a newer bolt with the bolt head, I would be willing to bet that the rest of the bolt could be salvaged and the bolt head would just have to be replaced. So that is absolutely amazing. During the calls that I take during the week talking about these Desert Tech rifles, one of the things that comes up very frequently is the question of how safe it is. Some guys are concerned about having their face so close to the action here on the Desert Tech that they're just kind of unsure of whether or not it'll be safe in the event of an overpressure or something like that. They are just kind of hesitant about what might happen there. There's been instances of guys that have used the wrong powder in these rifles before, but up until now it's just been stories. Well, after watching this video, I'm sure you can see for yourself, if I cannot blow one of these things up using as much pistol powder as I can get jammed into a 338 Lapua case with a 285 grain bullet jammed into the lands, then there's a very low probability of anything dangerous happening during the normal course of shooting a mildly overpressure round. These rifles handle it better than most rifles that I've seen, and do so without being damaged. You'll notice that even by using a full load, a 93 grain load of Varget in place of Retumbo that I usually use in the 338, it still wasn't enough to damage the rifle. It still functioned just fine. Now here, after using N320 and an unknown quantity of it, just filled up to just slightly above the neck shoulder junction on the 338 case, only now is the rifle not operable anymore. And I'd be willing to bet if I were to swap out this bolt for a different bolt, I would contend that it would probably work fine again. So have no fear, folks. Desert Tech rifles are some of the safest that there are.